How you doing? Welcome back to Birch. I'm gonna start that over. Alrighty. Welcome to Birch Media, episode 3. Today I have with me the Victoria County Libertarian County Chair. He's been holding it down for five or so years now. I want to say, pretty close to that. So, how you doing, Patrick?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. How about you?
Not too bad, man. So, how long have you been the Victoria County Libertarian Chair?
Um, when it was the end of 2019 when I took over. So
Okay.
yeah,
Right at
so
5 years. I was right.
yeah, we coming up on 5 years here pretty soon.
Nice, man. So, have you seen any growth in Victoria, or is it kind of stayed about the same?
A little bit. Slowly getting more and more people. So like after I took over, like when we had our precinct and county conventions that the next year in 2020, like it was just me that showed up. Then the next time in 2022, then had two other people show up.
Hey, there you go.
And then now this last time in 2024, it's me and three other people.
Okay.
So a little bit. There's a little growth
Hey,
going on.
can't complain about that, man. A
Yeah.
little at a time, especially in this polarizing time that we're in, where I think a lot more people would be open to the idea if they didn't feel like it was life and death between the two candidates. So I want to go ahead and get started on the national convention for the Libertarian Party. I know we've had this discussion before privately. I think it should be held earlier. I know it's earlier than the Democrats, and I believe maybe the Republicans. They're pretty close with the Republicans. But in my opinion, they need to get the head start. They need to have their candidate out there before everybody else. Mm-hmm. Get the message out. Bombard the media as much as possible, because I know it's hard being a libertarian. But I think that really holds them back on account of they're already at a disadvantage. So if you're putting a candidate out that's less known compared to the other two major parties, and then they finally elect theirs, it's like they've been running the whole time, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, and you're not the only person who thinks that way. In fact, I know there's currently efforts being made to try to get the convention moved up. I think the plan is to have it moved up to February. But
hey, for the record, it is right now May 24th, May 26th, correct? That's the time frame, or that was this year's?
Yes, typically over Memorial Day weekend in May.
So that's a huge jump. February, I think, would give that's a great start.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's a lot of hurdles to try to get through as well. Like for instance, because you need to elect delegates from each state to go to national convention first. And for instance, like here in Texas, it's mandated by state law that we have to have our convention the second weekend in April. But like that law only says that's for nominating candidates. So
okay.
Basically, like we need to try and find some way to have something a little bit earlier where we can nominate delegates as well, and then we'll have the regular convention just to nominate.
Got you. So it's just not as easy as switching it up. There's a lot of back end.
So there's other things, other loops and hurdles to get through as well.
Okay, well, what's your opinion on it? Do you share the same as me and others, or are you happy with the status quo? Or
I agree. I think yeah, it should be moved up because that would give our candidate a few extra months to get their name out there and campaign and
exactly, because with Gary Johnson, that was, I believe, our best showing, even though he kind of blew it. But people knew he was going to be the candidate early on, so he was out there getting his name out, and you notice that was our best turnout. And I mean, not even close. I also have this is obviously a Corey Birch conspiracy moment, but we were the fastest growing party and may still be the fastest growing party. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we definitely were, not just in the United States, but worldwide. And right around that time is when politics really became polarizing, where you had to be a Democrat or you had to be a Republican, or it just became real dark, it seemed, around that time frame. Do you believe that they possibly staged that to kill any third party movement that was picking up steam at that time?
I mean, I don't know. I don't, like, as far as with the LP, I don't, like, I do think there's maybe some outside forces trying to disrupt some things, but I mean, I don't have any proof of that, but it's just,
Of course.
feeling like, um, like, of course, like, those in power aren't gonna, just sit by and let people who want to take away that power let them do their thing, like there's going to be resistance towards that.
Yeah, Ron Paul knows all about that. 40B,
Mm-hmm.
by the way. And for those listeners that don't know, that's how Trump won in 2016, was 40B. That's how he forced Ted Cruz out of the race when the GOP was trying to force Ted Cruz to somehow slip in there. He used the Ron Paul rule and was like, nope, y'all made a new rule last cycle, and I'm going to go ahead and invoke it right now and use that thing. So I found that very interesting, and I feel like a lot of people don't know that, because they really did not want Trump in 2016, not even Republicans. They were holding on to Ted Cruz to the last possible second. And what bit them in the ass was their own rule to screw over Ron Paul, a libertarian. So I just thought that was hilarious.
Yep.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't have anything more on that.
Okay, I was going to move on to the candidate, Chase Oliver. I know we talked a little before the show. I was a little disappointed when I looked into the numbers, because I have not been following like I normally do with the LP. But Chase won the nomination, 497 with 60%. Second place was None of the Above with 300, 36.5%. And then there was 23 write-ins at 2.8%.
Yeah. Well, and that was I think like the sixth or seventh round of voting.
Okay.
Because what goes on is, like, so the first round of voting, you have everybody who's nominated first, and then everybody who had got like under 5% got eliminated, and then you go to a second round, and then the person who's last gets eliminated, and so on and so forth. And like, it came down to the last two candidates was Chase Oliver and Michael Rectenwald. And yeah, I think Chase has got like, is like right at like 48 or 49%. And to win, you have to get over 50%. So otherwise it goes to another vote. So I think Chase got like right at like 48 or 49%. And then Rectenwald was, I want to say maybe like 43%, something like that. And so then went to a final round. And so then it's basically Chase Oliver against None of the Above.
Oh man, yeah, that was interesting. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I've never seen that." So, how do you feel about that? I guess, do you like that he basically ran against nobody in the last round, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was one of the 300 that voted None of the Above.
Oh man,
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I'll say Chase was probably my least favorite of the candidates running. Yeah, so
way off topic, but why in the hell doesn't Dave Smith run?
Well, I know he was considering it there for a little while, but then decided against it. I guess mainly, I guess, just for like his family, like he didn't want to like put them through
Hell, yeah.
Yeah, like him having to go through the campaign and stuff, and also because he's got like two young kids. Like
it's a hateful environment nowadays too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But man, I believe a Smith and a Spike ticket, that's the way to go about it if you really want to make a push and really make some noise.
Well, I've heard rumors that Spike is probably going to run next time.
That's good, because he was campaigning without campaigning this year. He was out and about doing his own nonprofit stuff, but he was out there talking to the people and definitely building a base. At least that's what I noticed. Dave Smith, though, to me, he reminds me of just a younger, more well-spoken Ron Paul. He has a lot of the same Ron Paul tendencies, and to me, that's the GOAT. Obviously, I'm sure you feel the same. But yeah, I think until the libertarians can get someone like that to run, it's right now we're still just fighting for ballot access, and that's a sad thing to,
right.
especially with the state of our country at the moment. It's like, dang, do I want to vote for ballot access, or do I want cheap groceries again? Or like, man, this one's tough. This one is tough. And that goes back to my conspiracy earlier about, man, it seems like they made it this way right as the LP was popping off. It's just, maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's not. We all know how my brain works.
Who knows? Who knows?
So let's go with the one country who made the right decision, elected a libertarian president, and everything that I'm reading is that their economy has done a 180. They're doing great. Crime is down. Do you think that could be the beck and light that wakes the rest of the world up? Like, hey, maybe they're not crazy. Maybe they're on to something.
I mean, I hope so. Like that's because I know, like for a long time, one of the biggest criticisms about libertarianism was like, oh, it's never been done anywhere, and so it's like, well, hey, now we got an example to point to. Like, hey, there we go, and look how things are going.
Yeah, things are going great, and how fast it turned around is impressive. That's really impressive. But yeah, I hope it does. I think it will. Like I said, it wasn't just the fastest growing party in America. It was the fastest growing party in the world. And there's a lot of people that say, hey, I kind of enjoy freedom. And as long as no one hurts anybody, why should they be in a cage? I mean,
yeah. Well, and yeah, I think we can get back there. But yeah, there's also some other internal things going on that I think kind of got in our way as well. Like, for instance, I don't know if you've been following the whole thing with like the internal struggles, like with the Mises Caucus against like the the Prags or the Classical Liberal Caucus and all that stuff.
Yeah, the Miles College. That's the one I follow. That's normally what their my beliefs and theirs follow up quite well. I mean, I know Dave Smith. He's big with them as well. He's always doing speeches and stuff like that for them.
Yeah, yeah, but it's gotten fairly hostile between the different factions within the party, and so I think that's kind of one of the reasons why you see the vote with Chase, how that turned out, like pretty much like because everybody that was like on the Mises Caucus side was pretty much voting Noda or somebody else, and then everybody who's on the other side is voting for Chase or was voting for somebody else.
Well, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, but I still think
power, man.
but I still think the party's headed in a good direction. There's still a lot of things we need to improve on within the party, but
what about vetting? That was kind of where I wanted to go next, is the vetting process. I mean, not like you want it to be like that for the Libertarian Party, but now you have people running around saying that they're libertarian commies and libertarian socialists, and it's like, that's an oxymoron. You really cannot be those things. So like, I believe that the vetting is just, we're being infiltrated on purpose or not on purpose, who knows? And they're changing the party. I remember when the Miles that was the way, that was a libertarian party, and now, like you said, I mean, y'all got outvoted by another force.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the things that I know the Mises Caucus is doing, is like, at least whenever we bring people into the caucus, like we vet them first and make sure, like, hey, you're on board with what we're trying to accomplish, and you have the same values, and then organize within there to then push that onto the party, like push like our goals, like one of the, like, basically our mission that we're pushing is Project Decentralized Revolution. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but basically it's where we're trying to push people to run locally, get people elected locally, and then nullify bad state and federal laws at the local level and just create a more free society from the bottom up.
It might be the best route. I see I think even Lockhart is about to vote to decriminalize marijuana. If Lockhart can do it, dude, there's to be a lot more counties willing to do that. But
yeah,
I know Austin already has. I'm not sure about New Braunfels, but I think most of Central Texas is pretty lenient. But I do like that strategy. Build it up locally, and then what can they do, right? Send in, I guess, as Biden says, send in the F-18s.
And I don't think that's going to turn out well for them.
No, that's what. And when people tell me that all the time, they're like, "Oh man, you can't beat the U.S. military." And I mean, dude, I'm a veteran. I'm not saying it would be easy or anything like that, but I mean, there's a lot of examples: Vietnam, Korea, Afghanistan.
Like if they did something like that, I think that would immediately turn, public opinion against them. They're like, why?
Well, not just that.
Yeah,
I mean, we got the guns. We're the largest standing army in the world. Y'all can't even take Afghanistan. I mean, we replaced the Taliban with the Taliban and then left them with our arms and was like, here you go, surplus for y'all.
Right.
So the fact that anybody thinks that they could just do that to a big landmass like America with the most guns in the world is insane to me. Yeah, it'll be ugly. We'll be bombed or whatnot, but people survive, and countries, smaller countries have proven that. Like I said, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, they get messed up, but they survive. The people find a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
it's not as easy to fight against a force that doesn't wear uniforms.
Oh yeah,
you can't identify it immediately.
And when you're fighting for your family, your home, your everything, you tend to fight harder than the person just fighting under orders.
Right.
So there's also that factor. Unfortunately, I also see America heading to a possible civil war. I won't say like anytime soon, but let's face it, we were like an inch and a half, 2 inches away from civil war, possibly with Trump. That would have got the mega people up in arms, I think. Even though they typically don't protest violently, I think that might have been a trigger that got them to actually do that. But
yeah, I mean, I don't think that would have been like a civil war starting there. That was just
if they would have killed him.
If they would have killed Trump.
Yeah, I'm saying if that bullet would have been 2 inches the other way.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have been enough to start a civil war, but I mean, definitely something would have happened. I don't know. That's difficult to say. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to predict.
Well, it started because someone got assassinated. I'm just saying, man. Like, people get emotional and people love him. I mean, I'm not a Trump guy. I think he's better of the two major party options, but there's a lot of people that think he's Jesus Christ, and they think that.
Yeah, and I guess it would just depend on like what information came out afterwards about it.
That too. It's not looking good. The info that's coming out, it's not looking good. Did you see the picture of that kid?
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me he just carried a lighter and an AR-15 casually right next to the president, and no big deal. Secret Service couldn't notice. Imagine that being a veteran. Imagine that being someone who did that for a living for 4 to 8 years and did tours. It kind of tells you our Secret Services isn't up to par. Maybe cutting federal agencies is the right thing. I think Trump has enough money to hire his own security, and they would do a much better job.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think so.
So that's just wasted money. We can go days and days about wasted money, taxation stuff, by the way. But do you see us heading that way because of the media dividing us slow? I mean, I won't even say slowly. At this point, it's like escalating, but
maybe, but I still think it's a distant possibility. Like it's a possibility, but not a very strong one. I don't think.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of things that would have to happen for us to really get us there.
Well, we would have to stop drinking Starbucks and McDonald's and actually get down to work. But I don't know, man. It just seems like the hatred, it's not getting better. It's getting worse. And then what they did with Harris was a lot of our fears when Biden won originally. I admit my theory was wrong. I thought they would assassinate Biden within a year and a half and just put Harris in. But what they did instead was drag the corpse along and then made it where there couldn't be a vote, a primary, and forced a person on us who was polling at like 1% in a primary that she ran in. Then they have the nerve to say they're saving democracy. It is mind blowing because it's like the world is upside down, and I know not people like us, but a lot of people don't question it. They're just like, yeah, they're saving democracy. Yeah, we don't need to vote for her. She's the right person. Or what's the saying? I stand with her. I stand with her. But none of them was standing with her in 2020, which is wild. But how do you feel about how the Democrats, the last few primaries, because Bernie Sanders kind of got, I'm not a Bernie guy, but he kind of got and then got a house out of it. And then it seems like there's been a little pattern with them trying to force candidates in.
Yeah, because Bernie definitely got screwed over by the super delegates in the Democratic Party. But I mean, technically, it is like you think it's democracy like that, so that they say, but I mean, really, like the Republicans and Democrats and like all the political parties, they're all private organizations, and
100%.
They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and then it's really the just limiting everything to it's everything. I think everything around it, like the media and everything else, that's just like leading us down the path of just it's just only these two people that are the choice.
Yeah, it's sad when other countries have like 6 options. We have 2, and then they honestly, for the most part, do the same policies. They'll sprinkle little different ones here and there to keep us fighting, but then like we're still bombing everybody and doing our normal thing.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I think it's disgusting, honestly. Because they did it on purpose. Everybody knew Biden was not in the right state of mind years ago. You literally drug him and did the earliest debate ever for presidential just to get him kicked out with not enough time to put anybody else in. And what I was going to say earlier is, if you remember, which I'm sure you do, during the 2019-2020 primaries, Harris started off really good. She had the backing of the Obamas, if you remember. And she was killing it until Tulsi Gabbard put the world on to who she actually was. And I find it interesting that the Obamas hopped right back on that train. To me, it's almost, again, conspiracy mind, but how much control do they have of that party? Because I've also seen Democratic parties where Biden's walking around lost and he's the president. No one's really talking to him, but everybody's around Obama shaking his hand, talking to him like he's the alpha, he's the man. That's the vibe I get. So that just worries me that was obviously his homegirl, his choice of 2020, and they found a way to get her in now. It's a little suspicious. And then the deflection of the Democratic Party, because like we already talked about, the saving democracy, but we're going to skip democracy on our end. we're just going to put who we want. And then if you remember the 2020 election, well, let's go with the 2020 election. Trump is racist. Trump is all these things, even though there's really no proof of that before. he was loved in the black community for the most part up until he ran and was everybody was told he was racist.
Mm-hmm.
But then they put up Joe Biden, who is actually a racist. He actually fought to keep schools segregated. He fought for against busing. He didn't want his kids in a radical jungle. They were super predators. They need to be locked in cages in the 90s. So the amount of deflection is concerning for me, because it's like whatever they say that the Republicans are doing, they're literally doing. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I think even didn't Kamala like call him racist too as well? Like whenever she was campaigning, yeah,
she did. Yeah, she definitely did. And then that primary, she called him racist, because he is. I mean, that's what his story tells us. He's racist.
Yeah, well then she also just fine being his running mate.
Oh yeah, and then his excuse for picking her for the running mate was, I want a black woman. It's like, bro, you don't come out and say that. You say she's the most qualified person for the job, bro. Your racism still showing. But no, that just worries me, because I'm like, man, it really feels like she's being put in there. And then it's like, is this election going to be sketchy too? And then is she going to win? And then I don't know. It's a headache, man. Politics I used to love, but it's really turned into a huge headache.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, I think, at least as far as the national level, like, it's just going to get worse and worse there. I think,
until we collapse.
Yeah. And like really the best way forward is going to be locally, try and build things up locally, get the right people in who are going to, nullify all the bad federal laws, and you can create a free community, in your own home.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's definitely a great idea.
Yeah, I
think it's gonna be hard in Texas. Be hard in Texas, man. Until the worst politician ever. I don't know. I won't say that, but one of Lieutenant Governor of Texas.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
I think I might hate him, and I hate to throw that word out there, but he's literally the reason we don't have pot and we don't have sports betting. It's because of that man alone. It's like, we can't even vote on it because you said so.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild to have that much power. But yeah, well, that's a topic for another day. I would like to hop on something a little less depressing. I know you're a Texas Tech fan, unfortunately for you. And now that Big Daddy left the conference.
Good riddance.
Y'all might be able to do something. And I'm saying might with a big M, bro. Might, because Kansas State's looking nice.
I mean, yeah, Kansas State's pretty good. But I mean, and then the whole conference looks pretty good. Like it's like, anybody could beat anybody on, any day. But I mean, yeah, most likely who's going to win this year will probably either be like Utah, Kansas State, or Oklahoma State. But I think Tech's got an outside shot, so they'll be in, I think top 4 or 5 of the conference come the end of the season.
Top 4 or 5, I could see. Definitely 5. I could see that. I guess we'll go to Texas, because I see it's just running through the SEC.
I don't know about that. I mean, y'all just
lost our schedule.
Yeah, but y'all just lost your starting running back
for the season. But do you know how stacked we are at running back? We're running back you for a reason. I mean, don't get me wrong, Baxter, that was a huge loss, but then Blue's going to step up. And then we have the freshman from last year. I can't think of his name, number 9 right now. I can't think of his name. I'm going blank. But it's going to be time for him to step up. And then we have another running back that was like number 2 in the nation coming in after that. So we're running back you, bro. We put running backs in the league all the time. And then if Ewers gets hurt, we got Manning. Like, we're such a deep team. Steve has really built a deep program where I'm proud of. It's been a long time for me to say that. Like, I'm proud to be a UT fan, and I think we're heading the right direction. And what it would feel like to win the SEC and talk shit to all the SEC fans that were like, "Oh, y'all can't do it. Look at the Aggies. Like that matters. Look us and the Aggies head-to-head record, not even close." But I think we have a real shot. Our schedule's real easy. I know we play Georgia and Oklahoma back to back, and then we have Michigan week 2. But other than that, I don't see a threat as long as we play how we're supposed to play. I don't think anybody's going to get us besides maybe Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, y'all got a pretty good schedule.
Oh, you got fucked. Oh, you got fucked bad.
But I mean, yeah, I think, but I mean, I still don't think y'all are gonna win the conference. So, I mean, y'all be close. Y'all be in the running there towards the end, but I think it's gonna end up being Georgia again because they're gonna probably be upset about losing last time and then getting left out of the playoffs, and so they're gonna go on a tear this season probably.
Well, they're coming to Austin, so we'll see. Hopefully, I'll be at that game.
Yeah, it should be a good game though.
All right, well then let's do since there's 12 now, so we're probably going to have a little time to think. What is our way too early playoff prediction? I'll go ahead and start. I'm going to go with Texas, of course, Georgia, Bama, Oklahoma State, Oregon, Ohio State. I think even Penn State and Michigan get in there. And then I think Ole Miss and the SEC will also get in there. And then the ACC is going to have some people. I'm not sure who is coming back with Clemson. I'm going to go with Miami and Florida State. I think they sneak in there. I think the U's going to be coming up. And that was straight freestyle.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. But so I guess I'll start with. So you got the 4 conference winners. You're gonna get the bye week. Will probably be, I'm gonna say, Georgia, Ohio State, Florida State, and then I think I'll go with Utah probably. I think they might win. And then let's see. Beyond that, let's see. I think Alabama will probably be in the mix. And yeah, we'll say Michigan will probably be in there as well.
Yeah, they'll probably be team.
Yeah, second in the Big Ten. If it's not, well, maybe it could be Oregon. So yeah, actually, I'll say Oregon over Michigan probably. Let's see who else is there.
Yeah, it's tough now that it's 12, huh?
It's tough. Yeah, because that's 6 so far that I picked. Then it's hard to get past that.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of SEC and Big Ten teams. That's the 2
there'll probably be
Michigan
at least
will be there.
Yeah, 3 from each of those, I would bet.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah, I say easy. I don't think the Pac-12 is going to get, because they're not even really considered a conference anymore. Are they? Only have 2 teams, so you don't even have to worry about them. I tell you what, Texas State looked nice last year. If they can keep building on that, maybe a Cinderella to sneak in at number 12. Maybe I'm being a little biased because I'm right by San Marcos, so I don't know. But they really made some noise. They made their first bowl game last year or something like that?
Was it? I don't know. I haven't really been following them too much.
Yeah. And they have a decent returning team. So maybe that's because we got to get a sleeper in there. It can't just be all these superpowers. Someone's going to go undefeated and then get stomped in the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe like a Liberty University or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So y'all's recruiting. How's y'all's recruiting this year?
It's doing pretty good. Like we, well, I mean, we just signed the best class we've ever had, and it was I think it was the number 1 class out of the Big 12. And yeah, like recruiting has just been getting better and better under Coach McGuire. And I think that's going to continue to improve, especially with the new facilities they're building out there at Tech. That's going to make I think a lot of people want to come over there.
Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it because it's you, I could see Tech being a powerhouse in the Big 12 eventually, because Texas runs that's the pipeline. So the Aggies are gone, Texas is gone. It's Tech, Baylor, TCU, Houston. I'm not really going to put in that category yet. But yeah, I see Tech. Yeah, I see between Tech and TCU for that title.
Yeah, TCU will probably be pretty good as well. Yeah. And of course, yeah, they just went to the title game a couple of seasons ago, but you'll see if they can get back to being that good again, because the last season wasn't too good for them. But yeah, but they got a good coach, and so I think they'll be a pretty good team for a little while, as long as he's there.
Okay. Well, then let's move it on to the NFL for a little bit, man. We're both Cowboy fans, so this should be a little easier for us. I'm hoping for a rough year, because I'm hoping for a restart. I'm hoping we don't re-sign that. But I do think we have the talent to be another 12-4 team, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's just difficult because, like, man, the Cowboys didn't really do anything in the off season.
They killed the draft. They killed the draft.
Yeah. I think we had a pretty good draft, but that's for most of the people in the draft, it's going to be 2 or 3 years before they're making a difference on the field for the team.
No doubt.
So this season, yeah, it could be rough. But then, yeah, it could go 10, 11, 12 wins. Who knows?
Is Dak coming back? Is it Super Bowl or bust for Dak? I guess that's what I'm trying to ask you.
I don't know if it's Super Bowl or bust, but it may be conference championship or bust.
I could see that. I mean, we haven't been there since 95 years. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll be happy with that. I'm trying to think. Super Bowl. What's the way too early Super Bowl prediction? Because mine's definitely not Dallas for once. I think I have the Chiefs. Until I see a team in the AFC knock them off, I'm going to say Chiefs. And then I think Green Bay. I think Green Bay is going to shock a lot of people. I don't think it was a fluke last year against us. I think they're going to keep progressively getting better.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, I agree. Kansas City's probably most likely be back. And yeah, it could be Green Bay. I think they'll be in the mix. Maybe San Francisco again.
Oh yeah,
because they'll be a pretty good team again. Maybe this is difficult to say, but maybe the Eagles. We'll
see. I wasn't going to go there, but yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, yeah, they'll be a good team as well. So, I think it's going to be, at least for the NFC East, it's going to be between Cowboys and Eagles again, for sure.
Don't sleep on the Redskins and don't sleep on the Giants, dude. Well, especially the Redskins. With that quarterback they got, I think that's a huge game changer. And they honestly had like an okay offensive line, some okay weapons. They just haven't had a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So you put in a Jaden Daniels, that could be a quick turnaround, unfortunately for us. Yeah. And now about the Giants, Daniel Jones finally has a number 1 receiver, even though he's already getting in fights at camp. So I'm not sure how well he's fitting in. But he has a true, legit number 1 receiver, or at least he was in college. So I think it'll be competitive.
Yeah, and then also the Washington, their offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, my Tech guy. I might have to root a little bit for them.
They took Dan Quinn and half our defense, it felt like.
So yeah, with Dan Quinn, they could have a pretty good defense. Looks like, and
he always has a good team, man. He's a disciplined, or not a disciplined guy, but he's a team friendly / disciplined guy.
Yeah,
he's a happy balance. I think he'll do well. I hope he doesn't. Think he will. Cowboys, honestly, look now thinking about it, if we start off slow, we could end up being the worst team in the division. As crazy as that sounds.
mm-hmm. Maybe, but that wouldn't be the worst thing.
No, not with Sanders and Ewers coming out in the draft. I think hopefully one of them can take a step forward in front of the other one, and maybe we go all in on a new quarterback.
Yeah,
much rather Manning, but that's a few years out.
Mm-hmm. And just hopefully we're able to also get a deal done with CeeDee Lamb here pretty soon, because we need to keep him on the team.
I want to. I just at this point it's almost like it's irreparable. Jerry opened his mouth like Jerry does. Basically said like it's not important to him. You don't tell a man who's earning a living or trying to earn a living like your pay is not important to me. Anybody would be salty and be like, "Oh, it's not all right. Well, then fuck you. I quit."
Well, so I think that's why he's holding out.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly that's our situation now. I think he feels disrespected, and he's going to get every single penny he can, or has to be traded. And then Michael Parsons, I read him and the coaching staffs haven't been getting quite along. I heard a lot of people would not be sad to see him leave, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, well, maybe if it's a bad season, then this current coaching staff won't be around after this season.
Yeah, that or we trade all three of them. We find a way to trade all three and just start all the way over. That's one thing I can see.
I don't know. I mean, if they were older, then I might agree. But they're still young and like they haven't,
especially Parsons.
Yeah, they haven't hit the prime of their career just yet.
I think CD's right there at his prime. Dak is, I think, past.
Yeah, Dak.
But yeah, Parsons, man, he's still a baby. So but if he's a diva, I just rather not have him on the team, because we've had those. I mean, how many times has the Cowboys had a diva on the team? And I mean, we don't get Super Bowls from those. We get dysfunction, and I'm tired of dysfunction. But we'll see, dude. I think the defense will be all right, because I love Mike Zimmer. I think that was a badass hire. He said old school, like, you're going to do your job or I'll find someone who can, which is exactly what we need. Hopefully we go mid, so Mike McCarthy, Dak is fired. And then Mike Zimmer can go ahead and take over as head coach, get a quarterback in the draft, and just start this thing over, man. But we'll see. Let's switch it up to basketball real quick before we run out of time. I noticed your boy was in the Olympics, playing for gold.
Yeah, won a silver though, but
yeah, he came up short. How do you feel about that?
I feel perfectly fine. I mean, look at who he's up against.
You're a true American. I love it.
LeBron, KD, Steph.
What Steph did was insane, dude. My jaw was literally dropped. It was like, what was it, 4 threes in a row to end the game, and 2 of them was just like stupid off balance, 2 people on him, and he just chunks it up and makes it. It's like, what the hell? So how do you think your Spurs do? I know y'all got one decent guard, and then y'all traded the other one in the draft.
Yeah, I think we'll do all right. We're still building. So like this next season, I think we might be outside playoff team possibly. But I know we still got a lot of draft picks coming up.
We got Chris Paul too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Chris. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. If y'all say if he stays healthy, y'all might sneak into a play-in.
So I think between him and Wemby, I think that for sure we should be at least like 7th or 8th seed.
I think you'd be lucky with the 10th or 9th getting that play in, but it's all opinion. we'll switch it up to the Rockets real quick because that's going to be a top 5 seed next year. Top 5 seed. Second year under Coach Udoka. We're going to be a great defensive team. Tari Eason's back from injury. We drafted the White Curry. I'm not sure if you noticed that. I think Twitter was calling him Cocaine Curry. Love the name. I would definitely be calling him Cocaine Curry every time he hits a 3. But I think because of the coaching, and he came from the Popovich tree. So, I mean, it's basically the Spurs way. I think he's going to get all this young talent developed and playing well. You saw Jalen Green at the end of the year playing great, especially once Sengun went down and the offense all went to Jalen Green. He tore it up. So I think we have potential if we take the next step forward like we should. And with the additions we have, Steven Adams is coming back from his year-long injury. So we'll have a paint protector too as well. I think top 5 seed. I think we could shock people like Oklahoma City did with such a young team.
Yeah, certainly a possibility. But
I don't want to hear. No. I don't want to hear that. What's your thoughts on my Rockets?
I mean, I haven't followed the Rockets too much, but I mean, definitely I got some good players with Sengun and Green. So it's going to be there'll be a
Shaq and Kobe
team. I don't know. I don't think they're that good, but
no. Sengun is not Shaq.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, they'll be tough to face for sure.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to. And I live right next to San Antonio now, so that's 2 games I get to go to and stand out in my red. Honestly, Spur fans are pretty cool. I've never had any confrontation with them or anything like that. They let me talk my shit and they talk their shit and we go about our day. So love it.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what it's like when you're used to winning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while though. It's been a while.
Yeah, that's been a good few years, but things are looking up for the franchise right now. So
yeah, y'all stole Wemby from us.
Yeah,
that's what hurt the most. Not that we didn't get. I mean, it hurt not getting Wemby, but the fact it went to the Spurs, dude, that was a bad dream. But he hasn't proven to be that. I mean, he's dominant, but he hasn't proven to be like what I was expecting yet. I think it's coming, probably about 3 years from now.
Yeah, he's still young. Yeah, because he's like 20 now, something like that.
Yeah, so I think it's coming, but hopefully it's not another dynasty situation for y'all. That's for sure.
Well, we'll see. I mean, if we got, if he turns out the way everybody expects him to, then definitely could be another dynasty.
Yeah, it'd be his league if he turns out like people predict, man. Unfortunately, but anyway, bro. It was a pleasure having you on, man. And hopefully we can make this a weekly or bi-weekly thing and just touch base on election politics and what the LP is doing. I want to keep the people aware that there is a third party, and I believe it's the best party available. We're just not funded and not exposed enough yet. That to me, that's the problem. And hopefully that will change in the near future. Argentina's the light leading the way.
Yep, afuera.
All right, brother. Well, hey, man, you have a good one, and can't wait to have you back on.
All right, good talking to you, man.
Yes, sir. Later.
Bye.